Adopt, don't shop is a common phrase heard from animal advocates around the states. The common issue is often followed by why breeders are a menace. Today I will touch upon the misconception that people have towards breeders, and we'll talk about different kinds of breeders. I am familiar with the breeding world. I have been a person who has adopted and a person who has bought an animal and knows the difference between the two. First, I will tell you of the different types of breeders. Then I will tell you about the misconceptions. And lastly, I will tell you of some of the traits that exist because of the work breeders have put into the animal. According to the National Animal Interest Alliance, the number of purebreds in the U.S. animal shelters is closer to 5%, more specifically 5.04%, than to the 25% commonly cited by national animal organizations and quoted by the media. The number of purebreds in shelters would be 3.3% if not for two breeds that are overrepresented, Chihuahuas and dogs described as pit bulls. There are around 5 to 7 million domestic pets at U.S. shelters. Realistically, the percentage of purebred animals obtained from a legitimate breeder is less than 3%. The misconception is harmful because it gives a negative connotation towards breeders. There are different types of breeders that exist, and today I will touch up on what types there are. First and least commonly known are preservation breeders. These are breeders who maintain a breed that is in danger of becoming extinct. Preservation breeders keep the breed alive and are very protective of their animals that they produce because they are of limited quantity out in the world. As of 2023, there are only 7 Havana Brown breeders in the world, and each of their cats can date back to the line that was saved by teamwork and the leadership of a preservation breeder by the name of Leanne Ruby. If she had not interfered and stepped in to preserve the breed, then the chocolate cats that people may recognize as Havana Browns would have become extinct. The reason why these cats became extinct is because there has been a decline in cat breeders around the world. And when there is a decline, certain breeds will disappear. The second type is the hobby breeder. These are very casual breeders who only have 1 to 2 breeding animals and who maybe breed once a year or even less than that. They usually only have a single female or a single male in their home, and they are very variable. These are breeders who make it a hobby to title and show their animals. And there are some that don't even do it. These are breeders who have done their paperwork, but are actively not really participating in the breeding world. They breed their animals on occasion, and they are more typically known to have a single litter to give to a friend or family member. We have our typical breeders. These are breeders who are established in their field. Depending on the state, they may have permit or licensing. These are breeders who open up their homes yearly to inspections by their association or by their state. They are the ones who will title and show their animal. They are the ones who have a genetic interest and will do DNA tests and have medical tests done on their animals to make sure that they produce the healthiest outcomes for their lines. The typical breeder usually has a spay and neuter contract if they don't already practice early spay and neuter before they leave. And some may even have an insurance plan for owners to take advantage of. They often have in their contracts that if an owner can no longer take care of their animal, they have the option to relinquish their pet back to their breeder. Now here is where the misconception comes from. The backyard breeder is the one that gives breeding a negative connotation. These are not breeders at all. These are people. They can be your friends, they can be your family, they can be your neighbor, who have an unaltered animal that is either papered or non, that they decide to breed, either because they want their animal to experience the joys of motherhood or they want to get a profit. A lot of times when you see an animal that looks purebred at a shelter, it typically comes from a backyard breeder. They do not health test, and they do the bare minimum with the animals that they produce. they are not actual breeders, but are actually irresponsible owners. Why this misconception is a problem is because it brings on the idea that legitimate breeders are the reason why there's a huge population of domestic animals at the shelters. But with only 3.3 actually being purebred, we need to take a chance to allow the idea of adopt or get a pet from a breeder responsibly. Finally, a little note of interest that persists is what breeders have done over the years. In dog breeds, some of these breeds go back thousands of years or more, and some of these lines have persisted for more than 700 years on paper. With cat breeds, breeders have established and worked with unique mutations that have occurred in domestic populations to establish breeds that we recognize today. Today, I'm going to show you a purebred cat. She has several unique genes. These genes persist in purebred populations because of the interest and development by breeders. This right here is a British Shorthair. You can tell she is a British by her round face and cobby body. She has round ears, round body, round face. What is unique is that she has several polygenes that come into play. You may see her as an orange looking cat, but this is actually a gold inhibitor gene that changes the color of this cat. If she did not have this inhibitor gene, she would be a blue tabby. And if she didn't have dilution, she would be a black one. You see the brown and black tabbies out on the street? That's technically what she is, but with a few extra genes, it makes a whole lot of difference. This is what breeders have created, and this is what we seek in our lines for this particular breed.